Welcome to I Learned a Thing in the Bathroom from Dollar Shave Club, where we explain something very complicated in mere minutes to occupy your brain while you shave. In this edition, we'll be answering the question, why did we evolve to look the way we do? As explained by someone who sounds smart because he's British.
Your average basic human has 2 legs, forward-facing eyes, 10 fingers, and all the other things we're all aware of. But since evolution is a process of random mutations, some of which turned out to be useful and stuck around, how come this is what we ended up with? One explanation for our basic shape, weirdly, has to do with running. According to a 2004 study, our distant ancestors were constantly forced to run, either to hunt animals or to get to their carcasses before other scavengers. We have so many features that differentiate us from apes, and they all benefit a creature who runs. Shorter forearms to counterbalance the body when running, a stronger connection between pelvis and spine for greater shock absorption, and, to the delight of many, larger buttocks than any other ape species, which helps stabilize the body when running. There are many other examples, but it boils down to this. Baby, we really were born to run.
How come we're so puny compared to, say, gorillas or chimpanzees?
We have slimmer builds than other primates because our brains are triple the size. They use more than twice as much of our oxygen and blood flow as other apes of equivalent size, more than 20% of it, but we burn roughly the same number of calories. Our bodies had to make a trade-off, and we went with brains over brawn, evolving smaller muscles to compensate for how much energy our brains require.
Stupid brains! How come we only have 10 fingers? Wouldn't a hand covered in fingers be even more useful?
There are no concrete answers as to why we have exactly 5 on each hand, but there's a mathematical formula called limb law that gives you a rough idea. It proposes that the number of limbs an animal needs is based on the length of those limbs. The shorter the limbs, the more it needs. If you consider fingers and toes to be the limbs of the hands and feet, limb law suggests that 5 on each must be the perfect ratio. Enough to grasp tools or make a fist, but not enough to get in the way of each other when doing these things. We have 5 fingers on each hand, in other words, because that's the version that worked best.
I see. Talking of which, why do my eyes face front? Wouldn't it be more useful to have them on the sides so we could see all around us without turning our heads?
It's true that animals with eyes on the sides of their heads, chickens, horses, etc., can see in a much wider panorama than those animals with eyes facing front. Humans, lions, monkeys, and the rest. But what we get instead of a wild field of view is depth perception, something that's extremely useful for predators who are trying to accurately grab their prey. It was also very handy for primitive apes first learning to live in trees. It's tough to swing from branch to branch if you can't rely on being able to grab the branch you're aiming for.
Ouch! Tune in next time for more I Learned a Thing in the Bathroom. And in the meantime, head to dollarshaveclub.com for more podcasts and a big old pile of grooming products.